Hello, Taurus. Welcome to your weekly reading. This is going to be for the week of the 16th going to the 22nd of January. So I'm going to have a little look and see what's going on for you guys. Cards are already coming out, so let's see. I hope you guys have been well. It's been a while. I hope you guys enjoyed the beginning of the new year. Alright, let's see for Taurus, please, for the week ahead. Alright, current energy, please, for the week. Ooh. Interesting. You're going to be wanting to spend more time alone. Okay. Either there's a major decision you have to make or major decisions that you're having to make here. Or it could be a love relationship that's currently being a blockage in your life. Maybe that means there's some arguments, or maybe that means there's just a lot of choices going on for you and it's quite conflicting. Like, conflict seems to be arising. However, like, I think you're going to be able to deal with it. Of course you can. And I do see that through the reading, but maybe you're going to need some time to reflect first. So now I'm going to show you what it says. I do see that you're going to be receiving some insights from the universe. Like, you might see your favorite signs around this time that you may have not seen for a while. You could get some really good advice from some friends, particularly people who are very in tune, maybe whether they realize it or not. Could be people who are slightly older than you or have a lot of wisdom in their life. Could be a Virgo coming through or a Gemini. Okay. 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 Now, there's two ways of going about this reading. So I'm going to split it into kind of two sections. For some of you, this is going to resonate with our relationship with ourselves. For others of you, it's going to resonate with your relationship with other people around you. So it could be a particular person. You do have the Lovers card here as a blockage for you, Taurus. So just be aware of that. There could be some difficulties in your relationships, people who you care deeply for. They care deeply for you. This is a card of reciprocation. It is a card of soulmates. However, it feels like for some of you, there is some betrayal. There has been some betrayal of trust. This doesn't have to specifically be to do with cheating. It could be really anything, small scale, big scale. Apply it how it is in your life. It's speaking to a lot of people here. So the Lovers is clarified by the Seven of Swords as your blockage. So for a lot of you, you may just have some difficulty in trusting in your relationships. You may have some difficulty in staying true to yourself in relationships, because again, this betrayal could be how we're treating ourselves, and therefore maybe that means that other people are kind of taking advantage of us. So Taurus, I think this is why you're spending some time alone, is because I feel like you feel betrayed in your relationships with people. This could even be friendships, family members, but you're just not trusting anyone right now. Maybe because this could be a past energy that we still haven't healed from. So just be aware of that. Because for some of you, I do kind of get that as that we're repeating the past. So this is going to apply. Like, I feel like I hope you guys understand. I'm trying to make this like apply to those it does. Because it feels like for some of you, this is past energy. With clean up an Eight of Swords, one thing that Spirit is really wanting you to focus on is responsibility. And not to say that you're neglecting responsibilities. Unless you are, then you will know. But in this case, it's kind of like fears. We're having to address some fears. We're having to address some internal stuff within this week. So you might feel like this is quite an intense week where you are having to do it alone, or you feel quite alone in your problems here. But one thing that Spirit is saying is that you are capable. When the clean up card comes through with the stag energy, it's a very independent card. And Taurus, you guys are very strong people. You have thick skin. You can deal with a lot. Doesn't mean that you have to deal with a lot, but it does mean that you have the strength to overcome certain fears, overcome certain obstacles that may come in your way. And with the Eight of Swords, there are obstacles in your way, or there have been obstacles in your way. However, we're looking too much at the problem and not enough at the solution. So what's coming through here is that things are changing. And I believe this is where the Between Worlds card comes through for you here, Taurus, is that you're starting to align yourself to what is right this week. That does mean that you may be letting go of certain people, certain things, certain ways of being that has anything to do with betrayal. You are no longer betraying yourself by allowing certain people to take advantage of you, by allowing certain things to take advantage of you. Companies, corporations, could be business as well. Or even for you to take advantage of yourself, to not actually see or live up to the true power that you really do have. As some of you, you're actually kind of coming to the point of where, you know, maybe you feel like I have so much potential, or, you know I'm capable of big things, but you haven't been focusing on the solution to how to get there, which can be very hard. One thing I want to say is, I'm not preaching. I really want you to understand that in order to shift this, we do have to start to look at the solutions, or like, how do we do this? And sometimes, and I'm going to be honest, I'm human too. Like, sometimes you need to dwell in that. Sometimes it's good to grieve emotions. It does feel like there's a loss. It does feel like there's been some heartache. It does feel like there's been some pain. You're showing up in your current energy as the Hermit. You are the wisdom here. You are the wise person here. You've been through a lot. The Hermit can represent, dark night of the soul. You've been through a very dark stage. But the Between Worlds is saying that you're coming out of this. You're addressing the internal pains. You're addressing and undressing, which is interesting. I almost slipped up there, but I feel like it has significance because you're undressing certain pains. I think that you guys are going through a major shift internally, which is going to shift your external. But I think the major blockage to overcome is your this betrayal in your relationships. And for some of you, if this happened ages ago, I'm hearing the initial T. If this happened ages ago, this Eight of Swords is that sometimes we can be replaying this, and our body doesn't know the difference between a memory and what's currently going on, because you're feeling the feelings that you once felt. So your body is back in that panic mode, back in that anxiety. And that's what this Eight of Swords and this Clean It Out card is about, is that you're having to kind of unpack and undress those wounds so that you can address it the way that it needs to be. And I feel like the way that you dealt with it before was out of survival instinct. It worked for the time that it needed to, but I'm kind of seeing this like an actual wound that we have to kind of take off that old, bandage and clean it up and put another one on. Now you know the right way to heal things, which is interesting. For some of you, you are going to be receiving a message here. It could be from a particular person, which is going to help you to acknowledge that certain wound, to acknowledge the hurt that something caused you. It could be signs, synchronicities, messages from the universe is coming through. But this is all going to give you some hope, because when we have Between Worlds, the next steps that you're going to be taking are all good. They're all good. They're all in alignment to who you are supposed to be, who you should have been this whole time. But because of the pain, because of the insecurity or the difficulty that this brought upon you, you may not have saw that within yourself or had the strength to see that within yourself, but now you do. There's been a shift. There has been a shift, and now you're starting to see your worth. Now you're starting to see the life that you want to live. You'll find within this time, stepping into this King of Wands energy, you may have been dealing with a fire sign. All right, that's Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But the King of Wands, if this is you, then this is about you are gaining confidence, you're gaining creativity. And the Lizard here is about adapting to your environment. You're learning how to adapt. You're learning how to change. You're gaining that creativity, that ambition. One's all about that ambition, that fiery energy that you once lost is now coming back to you. I hope you heard that beeping outside. It was pretty aggressive. Some of you guys, if you have fire in your chart, or if you just have this fiery energy or once had this fire energy, it's coming back, and it's coming back stronger, because there's a lot of strength that seems to be kicking through here. Maybe because you spent some time alone, because you started to see things differently. You started to look at things from a higher perspective through a place of wisdom rather than pain and hurt. And that different perspective, it seems to be changing something. And yeah, the blockage is the Lovers and the Seven of Swords. So for this week, I would really advise that we focus on like addressing this. Not everyone's going to treat you that way, but I think you now have the ability to no longer see yourself as like being in a stuck energy. I can never love again. I can never trust again. I can never be around people again. I can never do this, and that. You're actually taking a blindfold off and going, okay, like what can I work with right now? And I also feel like you're gaining confidence within yourself to see the signs earlier. And I think maybe that's what it is. It's not just about trusting people. It actually deep down is about your ability to trust your own judgment. Because I think once before you thought something was amazing and it turned out to not be so much. But this is where things are changing. Okay. You're now making choices, because if this is not to do with love and relationships, the love is about a choice. Maybe you feel like you've made a lot of wrong decisions. And again, this is where that mistrust within yourself really comes through, because we can't really control anyone. Or, you know, to be honest, you can never really trust anyone. 110%, of course not. People change, people, you know, it does happen. But we can control like the trust within ourselves, really. So I feel like you're seeing things differently for yourself. I think there's a new relationship being founded between yourself in order to make decisions now that are really for you, because maybe in the past you chose what you thought was best, or what you thought, you know, maybe it was because it was easier, maybe it was because it was something that other people wanted for you. So now that's changing. You're now choosing the right decisions, choosing to trust, even if it's others, whether it's, well, definitely is yourself, but it has a lot to do with others too, and the decisions that you make. And we have a Three of Wands. So this is a waiting energy. This is an energy of where you've put something out there, whether it's a manifestation, an intention, or whether it is you physically have done some work. Now you're waiting for some things to come back to you. So by the end of this week, I do kind of feel like you are doing the work. There might be an impatient energy with the Three of Wands, because usually it's like really like kind of watching to see what happens. Give yourself some time. You're the King of Swords. Some of you are going to be getting that communication. Maybe that's something that you're waiting for, certain clarity from an Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. It doesn't have to be. I think this is you just really being very clear and logical, which is interesting. Yeah. Ace of Swords. You're gaining clarity this week, even if it is someone coming through giving you that clarity. Okay, I think it's, yeah. This King of Swords can also be you. And I feel like this is you taking more of a logical, disciplined approach. Like, the King of Swords has the sword. He has the ability to cut through anything. But the sword is down. So I kind of feel like you're no longer in this defensive or like survival mode. You've changed things up a little bit, which is nice. Yeah, I like this a lot. Is there anything else that we need to know, please, for Taurus? For the week ahead. Swing flip. Yes, you're the Nine of Cups. Well, what Spirit wants you to know is that you have some wish fulfillment coming through now. This is great. This is like happiness within oneself. This is kind of a card of greed, but this is like if you've experienced a lack recently, internally, externally, however it applies to you, you are gaining this abundance in terms of your emotions. Like, you're going to feel a lot of happiness. You're going to feel very like, maybe you'll be indulging in some spending of yourself as well, like treating yourself, even if it's like to do with food, because we know Tauruses love food and comfort. You could be like, yeah, buying something that is going to make you really happy, by the way. So there you go. Everything in moderation, of course, but Taurus, I feel like you kind of deserve to feel this way. This is a very happy energy, but it's like independently happy. Doesn't need anyone or anything but itself. And you're the Fool card as well. So I feel like this is the new path that you guys are taking, this new journey that you're taking, this new spiritual journey. Now that you've come out of this Hermit energy, which I always love these two, because I always feel like the Hermit was once the Fool and now is looking from that same cliff from a different perspective now, because he's gained wisdom, he's seen it all now, he knows where it goes. But now you're going from the Hermit to the Fool, so you've learned something. Maybe you stopped yourself from doing, you know, things that you used to really enjoy, or like this youthful energy was kind of restricted your whole life because you were in that survival mode. You're learning how to enjoy life's pleasures like in a childish way, which is really lovely. You'll find yourself again being more creative, taking more leaps of faith, no longer kind of restricting yourself because of pains that you've been through, because of worries and anxieties that you've been through. You're removing that. You are stepping into a very new way of being, which I think is going to be very, 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 very good for you. It's going to bring in a lot of luck too, is what I feel like. All right, let me pull you out an animal spirit card for the week as well. For Taurus, please. You have two? Yeah, interesting. You have clear out the clutter, which is very similar to what we've been saying. So you could actually be doing some actual cleanses around you. It could be spiritually, emotionally here. Don't be afraid to cry it out within this week. Okay, this water energy is super important, because sometimes you need to grieve. Sometimes you need to let it go. Sometimes you need to actually address it, look at it, process it. If you didn't cry about it before, you can cry about it now, just so you can let it go, so you can understand. It's okay to know that something hurt you. There's no shame in admitting that, but it's just like, okay, it hurt me, but I'm strong and I can grow from this. It's not the end of me, it's just the beginning. So clear out the clutter. You could actually be decluttering at this time, of course. You also have watch and wait, which is that 3 of Wands energy that we had. So the work that you're doing now is going to benefit you. All right, just watch this space, because things are changing. Okay, I love you guys, Taurus. I do wish you all the best. I've missed you guys. Personal readings are actually open now. I've changed the website, so if you want to check that out, then please do. I've added more services. There's a lot of new things going on over there, so feel free to check it out. But if not, I'll see you guys next time.